Hello and welcome to Kamilla Singh Show. Thank you for tuning in. I will be introducing you the guests who are on our show later. But first, if you know of someone who we should contact and who has the knowledge to share with the rest of us, please let us know. We will be more than happy to contact them to come to our show and share their knowledge and expertise.
Find the mantra for all your travel needs. Get your cheapest air tickets. Sit back, relax, and enjoy your vacation. Fair Mantra has the mantra for all your holiday needs. Make the call and steal your deal with Fair Mantra. Call 1-855-962-6872 or 1-604-262-6872.
Good afternoon, and thank you all for tuning in on Saturday. Today is Saturday. It's a beautiful Saturday. It's about 12 degrees outside. It's summer in the middle of winter. And this is the first show for 2019. And hope you are enjoying today's show. And this is the beginning of the year. So if there is any issue in the community, and we like to make this Kamilla Singh show bigger and better for this year. So if you're dealing with any issue or there is some issue to talk about, we like to hear from you. And we would like to get you to come in here and talk about the issue and also find solution for the issue. So that's what we are here. And with that, we have two gentlemen in our studios. Paul Dhillon, he's the producer, director of the Fusion Generation as well as Anti-Gang music video. And with him is Sammy Toora, a very good friend, and he is acted like a gangster in this music video. So welcome, both of you.
Thank you, Kamilla.
Okay, now we can breathe and take it easy.
Okay.
So, how do you know each other? Have you done work before?
Actually, Paul, I met him around more than 20 years ago when he was the editor for the Link newspaper.
Yeah.
So I was a power lifter, so I was competing in powerlifting. So he take my interview for that one. The first interview, he take it.
Achha.
So since after that, we become friends forever.
Yeah. You are still doing powerlifting. You are
Yeah,
training.
still doing powerlifting and
And
training,
he's
yeah.
still the editor of the
Yeah.
oldest newspaper.
Yeah, 25 साल से ज़्यादा की
Which is-
दोस्ती हो गई।
He's still the editor.
Yeah, no, it's been
Yeah.
such a fun time knowing Sammy,
Yeah.
because he obviously excelled in powerlifting. We in this link called him the Tower of Power. We gave him that nickname back then. So he won a couple of them, and then we had good friendship from there. Then we also lived in the same neighborhood.
Okay.
Back in Vancouver in those days in the 90s,
Okay.
And then when I got married, I remember that Sammy used to drive by and phone me saying, "Hey, your door is open. Front door is open. Like, nobody leaves, in Canada, the door is open." And
Yeah.
I said, "Don't worry. It's
We
all
live
for,
in the
yeah,
good-
exactly. It was in
good
the summertime,
neighborhood.
so it was like to get nice air in.
Yeah.
And my wife came from India, they know, like then they want to keep
Yeah, the
that kind of fresh air. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So it was fun.
So you guys, you produced a new a short movie, right, called The Fusion Generation. We'll be talking about that in length
Okay.
later on, but I want, because both of you acted in that as well. So let's talk a little bit about Fusion Generation. Who was it geared for, and why did you think there was a need to produce that kind of movie?
So Fusion Generation is a romantic comedy. It's an entertainment film, entertaining film. It's a feature film that will be released this year. Later this year, hopefully in May, June. So we're just setting the date now. It's being going through censor clearance in India. So once that is done, so it's a film, about youngsters, young generation, relationships, party kind of crowd. And Sammy has a very small role in it as a bartender in one scene in the club, and he was great. He auditioned so great, I put him in Targets, because he said, I want to get into acting, and so he played a gangster in this Targets music video, a short film that is about anti-gang, that we're dead. But the Fusion Generation has been my labor of love. It's about youngsters, growing up in Canada who either came here or were born here from our community. And so it's a South Asian love story. set in the second generation, third generation, and it's a frank film, entertaining film, comedy film starring Gulshan Grover,
Okay.
and also Tara Hewitt, who's a Hollywood actress. So she's in General Hospital now, the longest running soap opera.
Okay.
As well, she was in Little Mosque on the Prairies.
Prairies,
Yeah.
yeah.
So it was a Canadian show. And then, we have local actors like Balinder Jol, well known like B.K. Rakra, Munish Sharma, who's a award-winning theater actor, making his film debut as a lead role in my film. So it's all, fun. We also have my good friend, Dasanda Claire, and he's also in the anti-gang video.
And the Thagpan.
And Thagpan. So there's, Sid Buller, young rapper coming up. Lots of young people, lots of good comedians like Ashley. I forgot her last name. She's a stand-up comedian. Suni Dhaliwal. Lots of people, and we're glad, so many people are in one film, because usually, a lot of English, South Asian English films are done in Toronto, and we wanted to do one here because there's a lot of talent here, and we wanted to give
beautiful.
that. Yeah,
Backdrop of Vancouver.
Exactly.
I can't beat that.
No.
Yeah. And how long did you live in Canada?
I've been here since I came as a 10-year-old,
Okay.
and been here since the late 70s.
So
we
that's
came in
why
78.
you see
yeah.
the growing up, you see the generational change, and that is the reason that you want to highlight that.
Yeah, it was more like, about, when you're young, you love things like, love itself, then parties, like you want to
Have
do
fun,
party,
yeah.
have fun, right? And we all three like to have a lot of fun,
Lots
as
of
we
fun.
know that Sammy's celebrating in social media all the time. So I
We
just
call
came
me Facebook, yeah, that's
So
right.
exactly. And I just came back from the biggest party, circuit for my niece's wedding. We had like 12, 13 parties, in a 2-week period for a wedding. So it was just, that spirit of celebration is what the film is about. Yeah.
His good thing is, my favorite singer, Balbir Bopara,
Yeah.
his song is in this film, right?
Oh, great.
Yeah, it's called
Okay.
Shooter, yeah.
Shooter.
Yeah. So, he's been a very good friend of mine as well as Sammy's. So, always working with friends together who can contribute, and his song Shooter will be coming out when we start releasing the promos for the film. And he might be also in my next Punjabi film. I'm trying to do a pure Punjabi film now. So, Balbir will have a role in that. Hopefully, Sammy will have a role, and maybe he'll speak Hindi in a Punjabi film.
So let's talk a little bit about it. I was going to say that you are an editor, okay?
Yeah.
You have been, since I known you, you are working at Link newspaper. You take care of the newspaper. So where does this production, directing the film, where does all that interest came from for you?
It's very good. I've been a journalist for a long time, and
A real journalist.
and there's a lot of Facebooky journalists, out there, so, hard to say. But,
No fake news.
Exactly, no fake news. But my interest in film has been since a childhood dream in India. Watching Bollywood films at the time. I just dreamed of wanting to, be involved in some way in film production, right?
Yeah.
And there, we would have been tough.
Yeah.
But luckily, we came to Canada, and Canada has been, just a wealth of opportunities and chances. So I took filmmaking in high school. Then I have a degree in filmmaking from SFU. So that's why I have a communication degree and a film degree. So I worked in journalism as supporting the daytime job, right? But then passion is filmmaking. So luckily, I've been able to do over 40 productions with my company Triple M Films, and we've done documentaries, feature films, music series. So it's been like, that's why the interest on film side has been, because it's been a lifelong childhood passion, which has turned into a professional thing, and I may do more of that and may leave journalism at some point.
And for you, being a bodybuilder, where
Powerlifter,
do you think of coming into the films and acting?
It was my passion from long time when we were
Yeah,
young,
so
like
both
all
are
other
passion,
people, right? The only thing, I'm a shy guy asking for work to somebody.
Yeah.
But as he is a friend, I told him openly, Paul, when you have something, let me know.
Yeah.
So
You are not a shy guy. You're very strong.
kind of
guy.
some place sometimes.
All right.
So,
I think we all are shy.
I met him after 20 years. Like, we usually communicate with each other on the social media, but 20, like when he was making the Fusion Generation, so I texted him. I said, Paul, when you're filming somewhere, just let me know. I will come to watch it.
Yes.
So I was working in downtown, so he texted me, says, Sammy, we are in the Yale town here,
Yeah.
doing filming. If you're interested to come watch here. So I went there, I met him around 15, 20 years after first time we met him.
Yeah.
And like I was all bald, and that time I hear he didn't recall. So he was looking, no, he's coming. So then I was there, so he asked me, Sammy, can you do bartenders,
In the
scene? Like I said, I can do it. I feel like more comfortable with you. If you direct me, I can do it.
Yes.
So he direct me like you have to do this, I mean this. So we make it.
And he was very natural because like you'll see that scene in there, and he's serving that, and we have it in the trailer as well.
Yeah.
So it's unique thing. But Sammy is a very sort of he has a magnetic personality, right?
Yes.
So people when they see him on social media, they obviously, they can work with the guy. He's easygoing and doesn't have too much things about him. And as an actor, he's very good. Like working with him more in this Targets music video, where he had a lot of scenes, and he's one of the main characters as a gangster who takes these kids and spoils them, makes them drug dealers, right?
Yeah.
So it's very good. He was able to really. He's been taking obviously lessons from a very well-known, acting coach, actor himself.
Haniel
Go. So and so he was very natural in that, and I think I encourage him to do more, right?
Yes.
So which he's doing and pursuing. So anytime my stuff is there, of course, he's like a brother and a friend. So he's always welcome on set.
Yeah.
We'll find him something to do.
We understand each other.
Yeah,
I know when he's talking.
So I was gonna say, is there any money to be made? Are there people here? I mean, like Film Board of Canada, whatever. Can you apply for funding, or do you put the money out of the pocket? How does that go?
So basically, there is like a big feature film fund for feature films which are released theatrically through Telefilm Canada,
Yeah.
right? But to access those funds is very tough. You have to be an experienced director, producer. You have to have credits. So there's a qualifying. Like you have to qualify. So a lot of times that's why the most of the funding from our community has been taken by Deepa Mehta. For example,
Yes,
her, right?
yeah.
So because she's already established, so apply for funding, get the funding.
Yeah.
For other producers and directors, very hard.
Very
but
struggle. They have.
I've gotten funding for some projects, but not this feature film that we did. But there's like for example, for my feature film, we paid every actor that had a speaking role. There were people who were extras and stuff friends who came like Sammy, who we didn't pay.
Yeah,
Neither
that's
he
a
asked, so
different-
we didn't pay him. But
So now you know someone paid and
I'm learning.
But and then everybody knew we were volunteering for the Targets because that's something we're doing for the community.
Yes.
So we put money, like Nanji Daliwal, who's my partner in that video. So he and I produced and spent all the whatever cost for editing, shooting, food, whatever and then everybody else volunteered. But I always encourage actors in our community work to get work, of course, in the beginning, but after get paid.
Yeah.
Then you will
Don't do
feel
it for
better
free,
doing
yeah.
it
Yeah.
because and it's not much. Like like if you pay even on a low budget film $150 a day
Yeah.
to cover their gas and some whatever, so at least they feel like they're getting something.
And
right?
they feel better about themselves that
Yeah.
they are not doing volunteer work, and not everything is volunteer work.
Yeah, and
look at the English film. Even the extras are making more money
That's right.
than $150 a day.
Yeah,
Yes.
there are a lot of people from our community working in those now,
Yeah.
the English features,
Yeah.
because they need a lot of what they call background talent,
yeah.
So the other thing had been that like a lot of films that shoot here, like Punjabi ones, they exploit.
Yes.
And I tell the producers from those movies that, hey, just pay something to, especially people who are coming for a full day, they're staying on set and doing all that, so you should pay them something, and that makes sense, Yeah.
So you being a producer, we're going to spend this time talking about your new film, and
Okay.
it seems very exciting. So you being the producer and the director yourself, is it difficult to, because on the big, and your thing is a very low budget film, right?
Yeah,
like
yeah.
you didn't get any
Yeah,
money.
yeah.
On the high budget film, you have producers, directors, assistant producers, assistant cameraman and all that, you get paid a lot more money. Is it very difficult to play two different roles, like you are telling them what to do, at the same time you are directing them? What is the difference between the directing and the producing? Is,
Very interesting, and I also wrote the film, right?
Okay,
So
and you
I
are a
wrote
writer
and
as
directed
well,
and
yeah.
produced. But sometimes a film like that, it's passion, passion project. So you have to do it,
Yeah.
So that's why, you know, I've got a lot of experience in producing.
Okay.
So I've produced, over 40 productions. So I have a very good, management skills. But on a small budget film, you obviously have to juggle a lot of things. But directing is something I want to have my vision come, because if I wrote it, I don't want someone else directing that thing.
Yeah.
So it also, saves me money, because
Yeah.
I don't have to pay me as a writer, producer, and director.
Yeah.
So I can just make the film and kind
And
of
this is your baby, so who they need to pay? You need to.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so even still, the budget is between 4 and 500,000.
Yeah.
Even if it's low budget,
Yeah.
but simply because the cost of production is, like camera, lighting, this and
Yes.
that, and Gulshan's not going to do for
No.
free.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, right.
so
Yeah.
and this is my second film with Gulshan. So I mean, for me, it's been it's a labor of love that I do, but I have a lot of experience in it, and that's why I'm like other people are asking me to co-produce now with them from India, from different places, right? Because of my experience of getting productions done within a certain amount of budget.
Is there a lot of support in your community because you're doing such a great job and you are putting this message out to the younger generation? What's happening in today's society when you came as a child, went to school, everything else, and the newer generation is fusion generation,
Yeah.
like two generation coming together.
Yes, yeah.
So is there support from the community? Also have money?
Yeah.
Are they supporting you?
Well, it's difficult in film business to either there are people who want to produce, and they have their own way of why they want to produce. Maybe they think they can have an affair with the actors or something like that. Like money people, they think
Yeah,
differently,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
I'm putting money in. What am I going to get,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So I'm talking openly and honestly how the industry works, right?
Yeah.
And now it's changing a lot, but. Yes, people have supported me through small donations for the film,
Yeah.
but we haven't received, support for the Target's music, the anti-gang music video, which we hope more people will support us, and and because we put our money in to produce the music video, and hopefully other people will get in behind and support us in that way. But filmmaking is a different kind of thing. There's people come in for money. They want to be part of the limelight. They want to put their name, producer.
Yes.
Big. It's a big thing. You don't know how the attraction for people who have watched films
Yeah.
and they have money,
Yeah.
and then they say, "Hey, I can be producer.
Yeah.
I can work with stars like that.
Yeah.
I can have my name above them." The first name is so and so produces,
Sammy
right?
Toora.
Yeah, Sammy Toora presents.
Without any experience.
Exactly.
Yeah,
And that's a lot of them get into film production for that reason.
For that reason.
Because
For the name and the
for the
fame.
name and the fame.
Yeah.
Because I produce, like producer.
And not only that, you produce and you direct, but you also have a background and education to do that.
Yeah.
Not just putting your just name there. You know what to be done.
Yeah, I mean that's why I come from a film background, like where I studied filmmaking,
Yeah.
because you have to know the artistic side. The creative side is different than the business side. The business side is the money side,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
I'll give you a good example. Ranveer Singh is a big star right now, right?
Yeah.
But a lot of people don't know that it was his dad who put in 10 crore for the launch with Yash Raj. The first film that he did with Yash Raj Films, Ranveer Singh, his dad, because he's a big businessman, put in 10 crore. But that investment, because he's been like a gold from the beginning,
Yeah.
right? So a lot of people also launch their kids
Yeah.
by putting money in and saying, "I want to produce this film because my son or my daughter wants to, go in this
part
business
of
and
it.
try their luck," right?
Yeah.
In Ranveer Singh's case, obviously they knew he had so much talent, being related to Anil Kapoor and that whole family, showbiz family. He grew
Yeah.
up in that kind of environment. But there's a lot of people in India and here who also launch their kids with money and become producers.
Big time. So what is the message on this fusion? We haven't seen. I haven't even
Why
seen
don't we
it.
ask Sammy? I have said enough. He watched the film, so see what
What is the message? I mean, if there are people who haven't gone seen, and this film will be released soon,
Yeah.
May, June, whatever.
Yeah.
Is the South Asian Film Festival? Is it going to be released?
No, it'll be released in theaters, like in Cineplex and all that.
Oh,
Because
really?
it already had a premiere at the International South Asian Film Festival
Okay.
that happened in November. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that film, like mostly they show like how kids behavior, how they talk here, right? Like their own culture. Like we are Punjabi, but it's mixed like Canadian culture and East Indian. It's not like pure East Indian culture.
Yeah.
The way they talk it, the way they feel it, right, about family and relationships.
Yeah.
It's all about, mostly this film is all about relationships and living, even the marriages, they show about the marriages, in the Canadian society, right? So how kids react on some of the things that, we usually, respect as like parents, but
Yeah.
it's not, it's like they show like reality
I mean,
actually.
real what's happening.
real
in the
what's
society-
happening, yeah.
in the community right
It's
now.
really
Yeah.
a film about the generation here, you know.
Yeah.
And
Generation
you know,
here,
like
yeah.
when you fall in love, for example, the story is of normally it might be different, but in this one is about a guy who is who's getting in his time of marriage.
Yeah.
So the parents. Saying, "Hey, you haven't found someone on your own, so
Let's take you to
we're going to introduce you to some." And so then they set up his engagement at the start of the film, and then basically the film is that he falls in love with another girl,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
And he, like how men are, they become greedy. Here's a pretty girl who's he's engaged to,
Yeah.
and here's a pretty girl who's also very rich, because her father
Yeah.
is a corporate
Business,
giant,
yeah,
and
yeah.
so it's not that he's attracted to the wealth, but it's just it becomes hard for him to whether he should stick with
This
the engaged
pretty one
or
and
should he go with the love, like
Yeah.
he feels he found love on his own, right?
Yeah.
And both of them spell trouble, as you know, Kamilla. That there's no there's no happiness like they show in the films when it comes to relationships. There's a compromise. It's not like in the old days, the girl is saying nothing, quiet,
Yeah.
and the guy is, oh, got it, and thank you very much.
Yeah.
Gale mein
Yeah.
haath dal diya and done, right? So now it's not like that.
Yeah.
So now he thinks he wants to be here, then he wants to be here. She doesn't want to. He wants to get married. Because the parents,
Yeah.
she doesn't. She say, I'm independent. Why you need to
Right.
get married?
Yeah.
We can be just
Yeah.
lovers. You know
Yeah.
why
Yeah.
you need to? And so these are the kind of things we show in the film. So the main message is it's a story about young people, about growing up here, about living here, about our society, about our community here, about our
the
community.
reality of
Yeah,
day-to-day
yeah.
living.
Exactly.
and
Our community's
raising your
100-year
children here.
history. We show a little
Yeah.
bit of that because the lumber
Yeah.
mining that has played a big part of business side of our
Yeah.
community growing up, right? So we show all that in the film, and it's about relationships, and even on the parent side, there's a stuff that I don't want to give away everything to the audience,
yeah.
but they will enjoy watching the film. And the main line which we have, which as we said before, is the time to
Yeah.
party
Yeah.
is now.
Yes.
Not tomorrow, not yesterday's gone.
That's right.
Party. So the film is giving you that sense that, hey, enjoy your life now.
Today.
That's what the main theme of the movie is.
So who is it geared towards?
It's toward every audience.
I mean,
like
is it for younger generation to
it-
see, or the parents to see, or grandparents,
all.
so that when they're getting into the relationship of marriage and all that, this is what expected. This is the generation we are living too,
As
right?
parents and youngster, all that's for everybody actually.
I mean, children.
I feel
the
so, yeah.
kids. I mean, the kids are into it,
Yeah.
so it's
Yeah.
very hard to take
Yeah.
them out.
Yeah.
That's their lifestyle,
Yeah.
right?
Like
but,
at the-
but for the parents and grandparents or elders in the family, that is very hard to achieve that.
Yeah.
You know.
So basically, like we had a very wide audience at
Yeah.
the festival when we had the premiere. We had people in their 60s, 70s. We had young people in their teens, and a wide group. And from all of them, the comments were, yes, it hits home. Like they can understand. Like they may not agree with the things the kids are doing, but they understand that this is how society is. It's very frank telling.
Yeah.
So it's not a film. The English version is especially is for not the faint of heart. It's a very frank.
It's no
talk,
sugarcoating.
no sugarcoating.
No.
In the Punjabi version, which were also released, it's a bit more family oriented.
So how many languages? You said is this film been shown in India?
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
That's why we are waiting. Because in India at least you have to clear a censor,
Yeah.
so it takes a little bit extra time, right?
Okay.
So main release is going to be India, Australia, New Zealand, UK, Canada, and US. This is where it will release in whatever the number of prints. But we will have in Australia, like all the territories outside India, we will also have Punjabi and English.
Okay.
But in India, it would only be Punjabi because this the release is targeted to a certain group in in the northern India, which is Punjab and Haryana,
Punjabi
that Delhi,
speaking, yeah.
So, and we haven't decided whether we want to release English one there, because the English one will require some censor cards, because it's we have
Sometimes could be
we
too
have,
graphic.
Yeah, we have nudity a little bit in there. So, yeah.
Too graphic for the people in the north.
Well, we have like a bachelor party.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
we show the bachelor party for both the girls and the guys the way it is,
Yeah.
not the way they show in Punjabi. And
It's not a
movies.
Punjabi
Yeah,
film, it's a
yeah.
Canadian
Yeah,
film.
yeah, it's a Canadian film. It's a Indo-Canadian, South Asian, Desi film. That's why the Punjabi title is Desi and Grays, the Fusion Generation.
Excellent, excellent. Wow, we talked a lot about this film. Yeah, and that's so nice because
Yeah.
I'm excited to see now.
Yeah.
Anyways, I think that is wonderful. I'm looking forward to watch this in the
Yeah.
theaters when they
For
come.
sure, yeah.
Please let me
We
know.
will have a premiere, don't worry, and we will call you.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm sorry that somehow we missed you in the premiere of the South Asian Festival, but yeah.
That's all right. That's all right. So with that, this is the end of the show for today, and I hope you really enjoyed the show. And if you have any comments about the show or Kamilla Singh show or want to be a sponsor, you can call us at the number that is given on the screen, as well as the email is kamillasingh@gmail.com. In the meantime, have a great Saturday, and I look forward to seeing all of you next weekend at the same station and same time. Bye for now.
Find the mantra for all your travel needs. Get your cheapest air tickets. Sit back, relax, and enjoy your vacation. Fair Mantra has the mantra for all your holiday needs. Make the call and steal your deal with Fair Mantra. Call 1-855-962-6872 or 1-604-262-6872.
We ran out of time. Thank you for spending part of your afternoon with us. If you like to support the show by being a sponsor, please call us or email us. Have a great and safe week. Please have those numbers handy in case if you know of someone who need help from Surrey Women's Center. Thank you.
Find the mantra for all your travel needs. Get your cheapest air tickets. Sit back, relax, and enjoy your vacation. Fair Mantra has the mantra for all your holiday needs. Make the call and steal your deal with Fair Mantra. Call 1-855-962-6872 or 1-604-262-6872.